like a daddy Mac. Dan's 30 years got our way, trading life and markets every day. Rusty's chained to the mines, digging deep day by day. But when Option Omega releases new features, he's free to come out and play option. Omega, you're trading home, where every move makes you feel less alone.
Happy New Year.
Troy, I feel like I haven't talked to you for like a year, since last year.
The boys are back in town. We took a little trip. We're back in the States. 3 of us took a little trip to Caracas this weekend.
Yeah, Caracas.
And
oh yeah, you
had to do.
You were busy, huh?
Yeah, we
picked up something.
Can I cut in and just ask one question as we you know, as you're just trying to digest the information on Venezuela?
Mm-hmm.
My first thing, being a sports player, the first thing I wanted to look at is, which I failed that one. The first one was, what's the big sport in their country? Because I'm thinking soccer. And I'm like, no,
so too.
Baseball,
okay.
Big time. And then I looked, obviously, how many, they have some big major league players in sports. But then as I was moving away from the sports, looking at different things, I'm thinking, wait a second. I wasn't even aware of a lot. You know, we had all this huge national presence. Our biggest, what is it? Our biggest warship or our biggest was there. I mean, we were locked and loaded. My thing is, what was this guy smoking that he basically, you know, he had a shot. Here's my thing. I'm just looking human nature. He had a shot, right? At least it seems in the newspapers. A month earlier, 2 weeks earlier, him and his wife could just go to some, you know, like the usual story with these guys, right? They get another crony to say, come live in our country.
In luxury.
And everything's fine. Why? What was, you know, was he just machismo?
Cocaine's a heck of a drug.
Yeah, it must. That's what I thought. I thought, what is he on the? I mean, if you know, you what do we call it in the market? Chicken. What's that thing when they say when President Trump says something?
Oh, literally versus serious. Oh, Trump always chickens out. Taco.
Chickens out. Yeah. But in this case, we were. I mean, he knew, right? We were locked and loaded, right, with the ships. And I mean, this was not a chicken or taco or whatever burrito.
Right. And it had been building for some. I mean, a couple.
Yeah.
Weeks.
I mean.
You guys,
the way I look at this stuff, and again, this isn't the political show, morning show, but
macro hour politics with Oprah.
Macro hour politics. Although I do want to talk about gold here in a second. I don't like my country getting in wars that we shouldn't get in. I grew up during the Iraq War, young man during the Iraq War, got married during the Iraq War, did not like that and kind of grew up on that. So yes, I don't like when we do this. B, also, I am formed as an American and we're pretty good at breaking into countries. That's the two things. That's my two thoughts. Is like, I don't want us to do it. Well, Matt, it's not war, but also like, it's not great.
Listen, have you seen the movie Sicario?
Yes.
This is just Sicario, right? Like, listen, I'm not an expert.
It's just big bank take. It's big bank take little bank. And that's the thing I don't like. Right. I don't like the idea of like, you're literally setting yourself up for a fall if you're always the big monster guy.
Right.
Like, because there will be a time in history teaches us this, that there's someone who will break into your White House one day and steal your little president.
Right.
Like that's
because he violated some law, and I'm sure there's other countries that have charges on President Trump, just like
So I, as an American, hold these two things together. I don't like when we do this. We're really good at doing it.
Well, do you think that was part of why they did it? Because that was like the other thing that was kind of unanimous was this. I'm not talking from a human perspective, from a Venezuela perspective, because I'm totally ignorant of that. Like, I'm not on the ground and I don't know all the details. But from a like kind of flexing their muscles perspective, was that part of the whole thing that was going on, was just kind of reminding people? Because I think the universal reaction was, we did what? Like how many? Like there were hundreds of planes involved, thousands of people. Like,
yeah,
it went off again. I don't mean to minimize any suffering. I don't know enough to even talk on that. But from an American perspective, it was like the eagle came in, did its thing, and left.
But see, this is the thing I don't like about it. The thing I don't like about it. Yes, like we've got crazy stuff. Like I was reading last night, like one of the planes that they saw was like a stealth. They had a stealth drone that, you know, you could see video of it and like, oh, that exists. Interesting.
Yeah.
So there's that. But here's the thing I don't like about that. Like, you don't think China's got some stuff? And here's the showboated around. Like, it would be nice to not show our stuff off.
I think that's part of why they do it. I think that's just part of why they do it. And who knows if they're serving the whole enchilada, or they're just,
they're not. I know.
Like, here's just a little bit of what's going on. You know,
I know they're not.
Yeah, we can turn out all your power. Here's just a little. Here's a taste.
But like the dude that can deadlift like 1,000 pounds, you don't want him always in the gym being like, just lifted 800.
Right.
And you're like, it just, you know, like it again, it's just a pride thing.
Yeah, but you want him at the gym lifting 400 and showing everybody I can still do this. That's what I think they did.
I think that's what they want to do. Yeah, I agree. Listen, I agree with you.
Comment from the chat. How's it a stealth drone when you can see it?
It's what they wanted you to see. It's only what they wanted you to see. I agree. And
how much is the elephant in the room? You know, I didn't, when you think of oil, this is my ignorance. When you think of oil, I think of the Middle East, right? And the Middle East, they were the big kahuna.
Yeah, they are.
Right?
Yeah.
They are the big kahuna. Yes. So how much, if it wasn't oil,
it was oil,
would the drug stuff be enough to, hey, you're leaving?
Oil. Let's make no mistake about this.
So, well, here's what's interesting. Listen, I'm sure we have somebody who's a petro engineer who works for OO. So I know we have people that have worked at refineries who can actually speak on this with authority. I'm just going to a little bit. So like when people think about, one of the things that you hear in media, which I'll talk on this for just a second, is like if the US is a producer or consumer of oil, that's an immature framing of it, because there are many different grades of oil which are refined into many different products. And the US has a lot of the light sweet crude, WTI, like it's used for the processes where it's a higher grade of oil and it's refined into different things. Think about it like this. Venezuela has really sludgy oil, is a way to think about it. So that kind of oil, like even if the US was the biggest oil producer in the world, we would still import oil. Why? Because different grades do different things. And there's nowhere in the world that has all of everything. So the kind of oil that Venezuela has is very different than the kind of oil that's in Texas.
What is that used for, the Venezuelan oil?
The heavier grades are used for a lot of shipping over the water freight. So a lot of these large ships are burning heavy 5-6 bunker oil. It's oil that's so heavy that it has to be preheated a lot of times. Like some of it
almost like a diesel.
No, way heavier than diesel.
I know, but I'm saying like diesel, you have to heat.
Right. Yes, you're right. Yeah, preheat. People who live in the northern hemisphere have preheaters to heat their diesel. This is even more extreme. Like you need pipeline equipment that's just preheaters to heat the sludge, to burn it. So Venezuela's oil is, think about it like this. It's complementary to our oil. And I did see one Twitter thing on this. By the way, if you're an OO petro engineer or a refinery expert and you want to talk about this on
love
the show,
to have you on the show.
Reach out.
Love to have you.
I saw one guy on Twitter, allegedly in Venezuela, allegedly, because it could be all AI. It was hilarious. Yeah. And he said, you know, do you think Russia and China were in Venezuela for the arepa recipes? Like for the arepas, recipes? Like were they here for the, like, listen, everybody's here for the oil. Like that was the point. Like this Venezuelan guy's like, yeah, of course, but it's not just the US. It's like China supposedly had diplomats in country when this happened.
Yeah,
like, they weren't swapping recipes. That was
listen,
I'm like, yeah.
Listen, I'm as American as like
apple pie.
I'm unabashedly American. Look at my face. I'm American. Actually, I kind of look Slavic, I suppose, but a Texan. I'm Texas, and like, but here's the thing, like. It agreed, like all these countries are in there because of the oil. One country was in there with diplomats and the other country kidnapped the president or arrested the president. Like that big take, like take little
arrested. Yes.
Arrested the president. Arrested. Right. It was funny though. Again, more shout out to President Trump though for at least being honest this time and not being like blah 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 when they're like, so who's going to run the country? Instead of putting a puppet government, he's like, oh, we'll do it for a while. Like that's insane to me. But
then they already. So here's the real question: we're all talking about like oil grades, who's running this is all kind of like, I don't want to call it surface level, but top level discussion. Here's the level beneath this. Here's the question: how planned was this? I don't mean from a military, but did we cut a deal with his rivals, or did the U.S. cut a deal with Maduro himself? Do you think there's any chance?
No, that was the original thought. This is my thought. Is I think he didn't like him. You forget about things in the first term. The first term, he was pretty hard on Maduro. He put a wanted, like a ransom.
Well, there's Maduro. A $50 million.
Yeah, but he did that. But the first Trump term did that,
right?
And so like.
Back to 17.
Yeah. So I think Trump, this is like tariffs in my mind. There's just things in his mind that he's like, we got to get that oil. We're going to get that oil. And I think that's what he did. It shows again, what I don't like about it is how much we know. And I know there's tons we don't know, but I don't like about that. Like we know that a CIA agent got into his inner circle and that's how they knew the room.
But of course, I don't know. I would just be surprised if there wasn't that, I guess, you know?
Well, here's the question. Do we know how China works? And this is the thing I don't like about it. They know
not on Twitter. We don't on Twitter. That's for sure.
They know a lot more about how we work than I think about how they work. This is my premise. And I don't think that's an uneducated guess just because we've put it out there. We've had 20 years of war showing them how we fight.
Yeah.
We do decentralized command versus centralized command. Like they know that. Do we know how China's going to fight a war? We don't know that.
Solid point. And do you think, I mean, I don't listen, guys, we haven't talked for a couple weeks. There's so much that happened.
Oh, let us cook for a little bit.
One of the things that happened, did you guys see what President Xi said on TV about Taiwan? Like there was some pretty serious saber rattling about Taiwan that happened over the break too.
It's been quiet for a while, hasn't it?
I don't like, there's all these Chinese fishing boats that may not be fishing, but like there's I don't know. It's pretty interesting. Well, it's pretty interesting. I mean, again, if you're an OO sub and you want to come on the O show, if you worked in the State Department, let us know.
There's two, but there's
coming off to Jay Powell.
At first, people are like, "Well, this gives Putin and it gives Xi a lot of ground," and you're like, "Okay, first off,
Putin invaded a country in like a 5-year war."
First off, I think Venezuela is not Taiwan.
Agreed. And it's not Iraq either.
It's Taiwan different. No one's going to be going into Taiwan and stealing the president in 10 minutes. I can promise you that. That it's a little bit different than Venezuela, partly because of America and the stuff that we've put in infrastructure we've put in place there.
Yeah.
But two, if I was China to the point, I immediately I went to bed that night thinking about it. I would literally if it was that easy, I would have done it that night.
Yeah.
Like the minute that US did that, the best place they could ever do it is just like, all right, yeah, let's do it. Because America, there's no, you could differentiate and logically, like there's no world to where we could be like, wait, don't do that. You're not allowed to do that. Like there's no way around that. So,
but Taiwan's not doing grievous, or are they? I don't know. Is Taiwan doing grievous things? It sounds like this guy is kind of crossing the line.
I mean,
a bit.
I think, again, I'm not Venezuelan. If you look at what happened to Venezuela, I mean, Venezuela is very blessed with natural resources. It's not just oil, metals, minerals, maybe a better, like they've got a ton of natural resources, and they went through this long process, right, of like nationalization. You know, however many years ago, there were a significant amount of U.S. companies, and they basically got their assets seized, and of nationalization, socialization, and now the standard of living is dramatically different than it was 50, 60 years ago. In a world where it should be much better, it's much worse. And so, you know, there were a lot of, again, not on the ground.
Shouldn't it be like Saudi Arabia or Qatar?
Well, it should be, because they have the resources to do that. And so, you know, there was a lot of discussion about the drug element, and that, like, you know, Venezuela is not a main exporter of fentanyl and all this stuff. And it's like, there's clearly, there was drug flow involving Venezuela. How much, how significant, that's a discussion. I mean, again, this was the pretext. It literally is. If you guys haven't seen the movie Sicario,
yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Who's the lead actor in Sicario?
The lead actor, Benicio del Toro. It's the protagonist is an actress, and listen, hard pivot. I would say that the director of Sicario, Denis Villeneuve, the guy who did Dune, he did the Dunes. He's done. He did Passengers. Arrival. Great movie. He really cooked. Sicario was the first movie that I saw that did that. I was like, wow. And the guy who wrote Sicario is Taylor Sheridan, who is super famous now, who wrote Yellowstone, but they worked together on Sicario #1. And it's,
wow.
There's a lot of similarities. Troy, you've seen it.
I trust Sheridan's. I'll say that.
That's right.
As a general rule, I trust Sheridan's. So listen, we're back. Obviously, this is a market show, but listen, we don't talk macro stuff a lot, but that's a macro event. Listen, America arrested a president of another country, you know, in a 10-minute raid, 6-minute raid. That's a macro event. So much so that I had a double calendar. I was very proud of myself. I had a double calendar I put on in gold Friday.
You're going to get everybody excited, Troy.
So I was very excited last night when I woke up, or when futures opened up, and it was almost to my profit target. And then gold proceeded to go up like 1.5% more. Gold, like if you look at the precious metals this morning, they ain't like, it's like crypto land right now. We're moving like silver's up.
It's like 406.
Yeah, silver's up 4 or 5.
Silver's up 4. Like these, you think about what those moves are per day. And I've been watching silver for a minute because I made a little move in there in the miners, but those suckers are like moving at a clip right now.
Yeah.
It's pretty, you know, for those who are like 2025 was a rare thing, you know, gold, like so far gold and silver right back to it.
Troy, would you have a neutral? Can you show it? Or
it's in my broker. It was a basically.
Can you model it for tomorrow if it's still on?
Yeah, I can model it tomorrow. It's basically a 29 delta double calendar. And it was
was it more neutral or bullish?
It was like one positive delta starting out. And
so you were looking more range.
It was range bound. And my thought was like, it's pretty elevated. I don't think it was going to get unelevated. I didn't think it was going to get this elevated. So basically it was a 20, I think it was a 20 delta actually. And it basically, I mean, gold's up 90, but it's basically at my call strike within one day.
Well, what was the time? How many DTE?
1028, I think, or something.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Potential.
So I'm not worried about it at all. I'm not like hurt. It just, it would have been nice if this was a little slower move. I'd be sitting really pretty this morning if it was like 1% up or something like that.
So. Have you guys done much with anything other than SPX in the world of DCs? Any stocks? Because they have high volatility. When you look at the juicy volatilities.
Great question, Dan.
In NVIDIAs and Teslas, again, they move, right? And you get what you pay for sometimes. You want the 40 volatility, you want the premium, but you're going to have a little more movement, right? SPX, you don't have the big volatility, but you have a lot of strikes, right? What's your thoughts on DCs and liquid equities, some ETFs like GLD? Have you guys played with that? I mean, now with the modeling tool, you can look at all that.
I've definitely thought about it. I mean, I haven't done a lot in equities as far as calendars and things like that. I'll do butterflies in equities a lot of times, but gold, I like gold because it's just reached the price now where it's like an index, except for it's an index that moves a lot more. And so, gold, it's a $4,000 product on GC. So it's like, I don't remember how much that, but like per double calendar, it was like $5,000-$6,000.
You could do it on a gold, an adjacent gold.
Yeah, you could do GLD.
Yeah, probably.
Sure. But no, I mean, I think Dan, it's an interesting point. A lot of it is like, just if it's $100 stock price, you're just not getting a lot per contract,
Right, because they're not. Plus, a lot of them aren't high enough price to get you the premium. I mean, I've looked historically at stocks. Like now that we're coming into the January earnings cycle, I kind of break it into the move of earnings. Right, have a strategy that you're going through the earnings, right? But also these pre-earnings calendars have done pretty well over the year in terms of, the whole idea behind a pre-earnings calendar is you're buying an option. So you do this maybe 2 or 3 weeks before earnings, at least. And you're buying an expiration that will be affected, right, by earnings. So the vols they're not coming down, right? So you're basically 4 times a year, you can put on calendars with no volatility risk, right? Now they're pre-earnings, so you're getting out before the event. So you're buying the further out that's going to be affected by earnings, but the one you're selling will be in an expiration that will be expiring before. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing. When you look at a graph on that, you look and say, that's the ugliest graph I have ever seen in my life, because the software is saying, wait a second. You're going against the playbook. You're buying high volatility. You're selling lower volatility. Well, but there's a reason, right? That high vol is not going down, right, until the event, and you're not going to be in it for the event. So it's basically the key with those things is you still want to go with the principle of doing calendars and stocks or that type of thing is some kind of range boundness, right? Some type of consolidation, which you're getting in a lot of these stocks, right? If you look at even the FANG stocks, a lot of them are consolidated. They have 6-7 days, you haven't done anything. So it's an interesting concept. I don't know if anybody's ever done it, but when you look at the graphs on whatever, Think or Swim or whatever, they look horrible. But the software's not they don't know what you're planning.
Yeah, it's just a different. Right? Yeah, it's a different game for sure. I'll say this. I mean, about the market. I got up at 6 this morning, and I've started working out again. So, I don't know if that's a fade the move thing, but like I'm running on all cylinders. We're drinking protein shakes in the morning. My goal for this show is by June or July, I'm almost never wearing a shirt.
Wow.
And so
tattoo.
Breaking news. Oh my goodness. Gonna have to change the disclosure.
I'm an old school guy. I can't do tattoos.
Parental advisory warning here.
I'm not a tattoo guy, but I will say this. I think the market, I mean, vol got real low in December. VIX got, it broke out of its kind of median where we had been at, which was elevated. It's a Fisher Cup bait. I don't think we're going to stay in 13 VIX. That's my 13, 14 VIX.
looks like we'll open at 15.
Yeah,
today.
I think 15 might be the floor. If 15 is not the floor, then I think we're actually going lower than 12 this year. That's I'm just making hard pivots. I mean,
man,
you're getting people.
What
did you say that was the floor in 22, 17 most of the time, or 18? I think
no, 22. The floor was like 20.
Was it really?
For the good part of the year?
Jeez,
for a good part of the year. I think 2017 is the year where it just got to 9. And you know, I would encourage people to test 2017 because I think you want to be ready if that regime, because otherwise your trades are going to look weird because we don't have that data.
Would you say a good discussion for this year would be, or at least the first week of the year, the whole hedging? You know, hedging for, you know, we're still near the all-time highs.
Yes.
People are nervous about the downside, but you know, here's the thing. You've got options. I mean, with the world of options, come on, you can go buy a stink and put a little bit under the market, or for people who, you know, or it's something like this. You could, you know, there's two ways to me to look at hedging. You could say, okay, you hedge a trade at the beginning, right? Okay, I'm going to put on all these double calendars. Here's my hedge for the, you know, some type of hedge for the downside, whether you hedge it with other double calendars with maybe lower delta, higher delta, or you buy a put. But the other way to hedge is saying, okay, show me, right? Once you start moving down, right? Maybe you go to X amount of point. Then you bring out the Navy SEAL, or the more popular thing to say over the last 48 hours is Delta Force, right? And so I love that stuff, looking most of the weekend on who's better.
Delta versus Navy SEALs, obviously.
Oh, if you're a Delta or SEAL, please, we definitely want you on the show.
Yeah, I love it.
Dan and I have been Googling the exact same thing the last 48 hours.
Yeah, Googling.
I know we got at least, there's at least one. You guys have no idea the quality.
Well, the whole point is Delta Force ain't going to tell you. That's
right,
their whole
but the
joke.
SEALs, if you're a SEAL and you've written a book and you're an OO, let us know.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think when you're getting this 14, 15 volatility, you have some opportunity, even if you know, let's say you go out, and I know this is Troy, you like the 60, 90 days, buy a little one delta or whatever, but you could, you know, think about even something to work with. I look at this to work with, right? Let's say in SPY you're buying a strangle, right? You go out and you spend $10,000 or whatever it is on a strangle 90 days out, right? Or something like that. You can sell enough stuff, right, in front of it, on and on and on, to easily pay for that, right? I mean, but you get it at a 15. I'm just talking the volatility. It's something to work with. You know, the old expression, buy when you can. This was in the pit. This was a big one. Buy when you can, not when you have to, right? And right now, cheap's just like, you know, they're cheaper, right? It's like you go to the gas tank. You know, last time I was in Knoxville, it was, I think at Costco, it was near $2, which is insane. Insane. I don't think it's going to be cheap. A Costco $2 today, but what do you think of, I mean, this, you know, when people fret about it, you know, I'm careful with my range bound. The market can do this. You know, you can hedge. Well, right. There's
Dan, I'm furiously looking through my different tests. The first test you and I ever cooked up from nothing was like a 3-month, basically reverse iron condor. It was a straddle with guts on SPY when VIX is between 12 and 14. And you would have bought that on Friday, right? And I'm trying to find it. I can't find it, but I remember thinking this is a great idea. I think this is a great idea.
Well, I love it. You mentioned those RICs because I mean, I didn't love the RICs as much until you guys started doing them more and look at them, because you know what? Bang for bang. You know, it's like they said, boxers are the best pound for pound boxer in the world. The RICs, because of the margin requirements, are much better. You know, the main hedge or the main, we can get a graph like this. You know, in the the long gamma was the back ratio, but back ratios stink in a normal Reg T account where the RICs are going to, and again, folks, we're just talking about strategies to get you long delta as it goes up, short deltas as it goes down. So I think that might be even a better thing, Matt, to get a RIC like 4 or 5 months out, and that's your core to get you deltas. And then you could sell, when we get some volatility, let's say we go down 100 points in a day, you can let them have some puts because you'll have the short deltas, right? I don't know. It gives you something to work
well, you
with.
think about like the housing market. I mean, I was thinking about like during 2008, 2009, you buy a house, and depending on how you look at it in your perspective, it was a terrible time to buy houses. Like no one, it was like everything was just destroyed, the housing market. Well, the perspective of it now is like that was the time you should probably have bought a lot of houses. If you could buy houses, is during that time frame when you could get a 3,000 square foot house for $100,000.
Right.
And so I think perspective on it is a lot. And the perspective, to your point, like this is as cheap as it's been in a while. Can it go cheaper? Obviously it can go cheaper, but this is as cheap as it's been in a while to buy a hedge. And so, you really probably can't afford to mix it in with your portfolio and it pay off. And if you can't figure out how to do that now, it probably won't work when it's 20. I'll put it that way. And so you put these in while you can. And there's things that you can do, even if it's like a put calendar. Like you're not going to get the pure gamma exposure, but if you're worried about just bleeding money, if it goes against your grain, let's do like a put calendar. Do like I wouldn't do a put butterfly for various reasons.
Yeah, the put calendar is interesting because you should benefit any vol expansion, move down, whatever. Right. Most of the time, though, if you're buying it really far out of the money, and the short put goes to nothing, you could let the short put expire, and then you just have a free long put that you got at a discount for the remainder of the time. It's super interesting.
Yeah.
And they're interesting because even if it goes against you, those things, if you get a 50-point move up, they come alive. I mean, I like that idea of a bearish calendar for a hedge, or just to play some bearish deltas there.
There's the it's interesting to do, and the ticker that you do it in is interesting as well, because I think if somebody is newer to SPX, that's one in SPY where usually with SPY, assignment risk is kind of a big worry, and fees and commissions. If you're doing something like a put calendar in SPY, Dan, that you're holding for 90 days, or like a 30-60 day put calendar at SPY 500 or whatever, you're concerned about fees and commissions. You're not frequently trading it. You're concerned about, are you going to get assigned? If you're buying it as a hedge, probably not. Even the black swan risk concern of what if it went super in the money, that would be a lot less with SPY, because you can always exercise a long leg if that happened, so it's an interesting thing. And I would love to do some hedge. Here's what would be interesting to do that I've not seen people do. I have seen people, shout out to Wizzy, I have seen in my memory put calendar hedges. What would be interesting is running put calendar hedges with leg groups to where you traded them as two separate legs. There could be some interesting back tests.
And you're not getting that many short delta. Like, Troy, do we have 3 minutes to throw up a model?
Sure. Yeah.
Do you guys get your quicker than do you have something ready?
I'm still trying to find this 90 DT straddle, Dan.
Or we can wait till tomorrow.
Let's do it tomorrow, Dan, so we can show a couple different ones.
Yeah, because what I'm thinking of is, one thing that has worked well in the last year for folk has been, do these calendars under the market. Even as the market's gone up, they've done well. And you say, well, why? You can go in SPX, SPX, we're near 69, 68.58, let's say 68.60. You can go 40 points under the market, open a calendar or put calendar, and you'll still be pretty close to delta neutral, right? Which is amazing. So then you get the 1 day down. So you'd be surprised, even if you go 60 points out of the money or 70, you're not picking up a ton of short delta, right? It's not like you buy puts and you get 3-4, it's something you can play with, right? And especially if maybe you incorporate those, on up days, right? But I just think we'll model them tomorrow, and I think those from a Greeks, they look pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to go straight for Troy version, which is just like, Armageddon. Like, there's different ways to
SPY 1200.
Like Troy's version, like we're gonna
SPX 1200.
We're gonna arrest every president.
Yeah,
that's
over the same night.
The same night. I think a couple different things. Listen, let's close out for the day. Venezuela, we're back, baby. It's not season 2. I'm gonna wait till the 1-year anniversary to officially call this season 2 of the OO show. Season 2, obviously, we'll have some more plot twists, things like that. I believe that starts in March. Matt, was it 1 year in March? Do you remember?
I think so. No, we did it before March.
Was it March? I'll have to look.
We're close. I think we've already hit our year anniversary.
No, we started last year in 25.
I know. I think we started pretty close to the beginning of the year. Dan, do you remember?
I don't remember yesterday.
Yeah, that's the right answer.
We're going to do a year anniversary, and then, maybe the theme song gets updated. Who knows? But 2, Venezuela is affecting gold and silver. Silver is up 7.77% pre-market, for those who don't know. And so,
gold is
oil. If you went into this thinking, well, obviously oil is going to be affected. Oil is not really that much affected, but precious metals are. And so I think it's interesting. 2, tomorrow's a huge day in OO land, guys, because, and I just want to speak to this for a second. We're going to model some hedges tomorrow. Okay. And then tomorrow we're going to fix some back tests with Mark Anderson. And then tomorrow we're going to talk with Steve from Navigation Trading about life and trading. And then tomorrow we're going to introduce to you guys the small account challenge.
Wait, we're doing all of that tomorrow? Is the small account challenge ready?
Yes.
Okay.
We're getting ready. Now, I'll say this, and it's Troy ready to answer that. It's Troy.
Okay. But we're rolling it out. Maybe we're rolling it out. Is the community going to weigh in on the?
No.
Okay.
But I will talk. Obviously, the community can improve on it. They can do whatever they want with these tests. But we're going to show you tomorrow what we're going to do. And more or less, we're going to give you the premise and the plan of how we're going to trade this. So that's really exciting. Shout out Romeo. Romeo from TradeBlocks has done a ton of work with me, and he has improved the portfolio. So we'll talk more about this tomorrow, but we're going to be making some content to show you how TradeBlocks can really help you build out a portfolio. And so tomorrow, if you want to just kind of be saturated by Troy, tomorrow's your day. And here's the thing. I kind of saved the best for last, because that's this week. Next Tuesday, we're going to have all that. But by next Tuesday, it'll be the second show of Trading Options with Dan Sheridan live, which starts next week as well.
Oh my gosh. Troy, we need a calendar. How do you keep track of all this?
We actually do need a calendar today, Matt, and we will talk about that, me and you. But 2, as far as that show, Dan and I are cooking. Dan has been thinking through it, how to best serve you guys. If you find yourself a lot of times on the OO show or some of the content we put out being like, I have no idea what the heck they're talking about from the options perspective, this show is going to be for you. Dan is going to do a lot of, basically we're going to try to slow down. We have the time, and we're going to slow down and take it step by step from idea to what does it look like to back test that idea model that idea, and then what does it look like to automate that idea and trade that idea? So that show is going to be from beginning to end on that stuff. And Dan, you want to say something about that as we think through it more?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, because being new to the back testing in the last year, I mean, I had a good teacher from Indianapolis. I won't name any names, but it's for folk that are doing it, part of at least one of the ideas is that we go at least every 2 weeks, that we're going to build together. So, I got this concept. I'll tell you where I stole it from. Do you remember? Did you kids ever do it? Build-A-Bear.
Oh yeah.
In the mall. Yeah. In the mall. So this is Build-A-Bear, where you basically, someone would come in that's newer, have their OO back test, and we're going to take this idea or theme, let's say it's vertical spreads, and we're going to talk about it, teach it, right? Teach with the modeling, but build it. And then at the end of, at least every 2 weeks, we're going to automate it. I'm going to automate. So it'd be similar with the OO that, potentially we could have 20, what's a year, 52, 26 back tests. Now we'll have to talk about it, see if that's, I'll check with you guys, see if that's too many or what should we do. But the idea is that somebody can do it themselves, because sometimes, like you said, I think the best thing is slow it down, because sometimes, like with the OO show, okay, you have someone like Stephen V, people that are very talented at this, and they come up with something which is great. But then when you try to go do it yourself, whereas if this we're starting together, click this, and you're doing this, then I think the confidence will go up. You'll have some back tests. And then now the idea is, Matt always says, you don't want to just, okay, you're going to trade this. I'm going to put these on and small, but they have something they can work with. They know they can go in and tweak it and make it their own, but they have a nice template, right? That they've clicked the button and say, oh, that's why this thing doesn't work out, or this. And by doing it, it's the old repetition. It's like doing it, it's like almost saying to people, say, look, we're going to do a DC every Monday the next 30 weeks. You guarantee people will get a little better at it after doing it 30 weeks in a row. The problem is most people won't do it 30 weeks in a row unless it's on automation, right? Unless it's on automation, I've seen this in life. They won't stick with it, right? When they lose 2 or 3 in a row. But anyways, we're getting ready to close.
Excited.
Or the
I'm excited about it.
Anyways, it was too. I thought it would be a short one.
Oh, but, listen, I love it. I'm excited about it.
I'm excited about the shows. Real quick, what times are we talking tomorrow for the 3 shows?
Yeah, so basically tomorrow morning, normal time for OO show, 10:30 for Fixing My Back Test with Mark Anderson, 12 for navigation trading, 3:30 to 4 for small account challenge.
And there actually is a calendar. I was joking with Troy a little bit. There is a calendar. If you look in the Discord now, to see this, you have to be a verified sub. So that's the deal. But if you look in the Discord under Option Omega Live, you will see there are 4 new channels in that new segment. And if you look at the top, it has a calendar for each one. So it tells you exactly when it is. And I will say this, there's actually already been a ton of activity in those, people posting back tests to fix and small account trades. And of course the OO show channel discussion is there now as well. So that's your one-stop shop. So yeah, you do have to be a subscriber to view that, but you can get access with just a modeling sub. So
and obviously there's a secret channel where Dan just talks to Tom all day, except for we didn't invite Tom to it. So anyway, you guys have a great trading day. We'll be back tomorrow with tomorrow's think about like 1991 ABC, like prime, like Full House. What was it called? What was that Friday?